All right. Let me just get my links out there. If you guys are watching this or watching the rerun, you know the drill. Where's my channel? Where? All right, everything's out there. Only took me about a minute and a half. Happy Tuesday, everyone. How y'all doing today? How's everyone's week going so far? We pumped. Is the bull run just the beginning? I'm not convinced. Let's talk about it though. So before we get started, hello everyone. Those who are watching live, those who are watching the replay, hope you're all having a good day. And let's get right to it. So, last time we spoke, we were kind of like in this region here. All right, and I kind of laid out a couple different scenarios. One of them was, primarily I was looking for something like this. And I don't know why the line is not... Oh, okay, I was trying to show something. Ideally, I was looking like for this, and it still can happen. Now I know it's made seem like I'm trying to basically short every top. It's not the case. We're getting to a point to where things are definitely shifting or can shift. The actual general direction which I think we're going in can shift. I'm just not convinced yet, and I'm willing to take one, maybe two more short setups. One of them is based off of this level here, which we'll talk about, and then ideally I want to see some sort of reversal within this structure here, within this wave. So ideally I was looking for something like, something like this, where basically I saw, you know, ABC, A, oh well, this was a very crappy one, but B to a C. So looking for this to be A, this to be C, and some sort of three-wave structure. Do something like this. Now, it didn't happen, unfortunately. So one of the alternatives I did talk about is it's very well possible that you can come up past this high here and form a larger ABC. Like that. Where you get something like this, which, you know, did happen. So currently, I'm in no positions long or short. I will short if we get back below this area at about... Oh, it's not. I want a price tag. No. About that 22,586 level. Yeah. And that's going to be a much larger reversal structure, in my opinion. Now, based off what I see here, I do want to see something like, to me, this is just one continuous trend. There's no significant breaks or no significant pullbacks for me to sit here and identify a clear ABC structure. To me, this looks like one continuous wave. So I do want to see something like this before I can go ahead and possibly take another short off of a higher region. So, you know, if this is the top, let's just do hypotheticals. If we get something like that, I'll go ahead and take that. But until then, I'm going to be playing that 22,586 level. And now that we got this bigger structure, it's hard for me to say that I'm completely bearish to the point where we can see lower lows now. Now, one of the things that I noticed, I know a couple people have talked about, mostly if you're trading patterns, is some sort of idea of a cup and handle, parallel channels. I know that's a thing, something like this. Now, I noticed these things kind of dancing around that region too. So we're still stuck in this channel. It's something I primarily don't really pay attention to, but that's something I do see. And obviously the one that I really, how do I say this? This is the only one I actually take any weight to, and it's an Adam and Eve. So something like this. Basically, you have a sharp recovery. That's a very shitty line. Let me try this again. So sort of rounded bottom. Now, obviously, that's not the actual Adam and Eve. I'm looking for, like, let's go out to like a 4 hour. I am looking for something like this on a bigger time frame. Something like that. Now, that's just hypothetical if this is the top. You know, we could go higher, but ideally I want the structure to be that size in comparison to, you know, the macro. Like when I zoom out to an 8 hour, this looks juicy to me. If I go back to index, yeah, index will work just fine. You know, this is a bigger, much larger one. Oh. Sorry, I meant to talk about this one here. The same, almost exact same scenario. Once you break that horizontal resistance, boom, take off. It's another one. Yeah, I think this was the last 2 bear markets ago. You would have a double, you know, basically that's what Adam and Eve is. There is different variations to it, but for the most part, you know, this bigger structure in size. See if I can get both in the same. Ideally, I'm looking for something that's relative to size in this. So if you, ideally, I think we're like in the first initial pump from it looks like. If you want to compare markets, fractals, which I really don't do, but you can do this for this type of scenario, in my opinion. I don't personally convinced that we're just going to do a straight shot up. This is going to be more of a drawn out, more sideways price action. So this could go run all the way up to test that 25,350 level. Let me try this. Get rid of this. I'm on. So we could come up and test somewhere around there, or you could form. Usually, what I see is in between these regions, between where I would go short and the next actual resistance or support area, you could have some sort of structure within this range. Something like that. To where, to me, that looks significant enough to actually take a trade off of. That's just me. That's what I'll be waiting for. Until that happens, that is the main plan. I'm not going to go, unfortunately, I know I usually go over the list with you guys. I'm going to briefly look over. I'm not going to sit here and do my normal spiel. I do have to get ready for a vacation, which I am going to leave Friday morning. I got to drive, which is my favorite thing to do. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually heading down south. Going to go to the Outer Banks in the Carolinas. So I'm excited for that. That's going on Monday. I am actually stopping by to visit a friend, and we're gonna have a good time for a little bit, and then yeah, so I have barely packed at all. So me being me, I try not to do things last minute, but it always ends up happening. So I'm gonna just hang out for just a tiny bit today, go over a couple things, and then from there we're just gonna bullshit, and then I gotta go. So let's see. Go back to the list. ETH. Pretty much the same thing. It just decided to pump a lot harder. Where are we? That's the level to keep at. Okay. So we're kind of in this region. I was a little annoyed, to be honest. I didn't realize this until after everything pumped. This ABC was still valid until he broke below here. So I would have gone long, but I was too busy trying to pay attention to a larger structure. But I'm not really too mad about it. So same thing. This is a little bit different though, because this price action is so far away from this point here. I'm probably going to be taking this one here at 1440. That's the only level I see viable as a decent short opportunity. Besides that, that's the 1280 level. That's about it. And if this, it's hard for me to say because I know ETH doesn't necessarily follow the same Adam and Eve structure as BTC does. I'm probably going to focus on that 1442, and until really I get some sort of like pullback or some sort of significant structure that shows me that it has a possibility to reverse. Now I'm talking something like this. So if this is an A, this is a B, this is a C. Sorry, this is the A. Now let's say that's the top. I want to see something like this. Because in comparison to this structure, this makes that's a big enough one for me. I don't know if it's gonna ever get to there. If this is the top, I don't know if this is the top. I can't sit here and play these guessing games. All I know is I have my position. Once I get in my position, we'll see where it goes from there. So that's about it for ETH. Just keep an eye on that 1442 level if you want to take a short. But besides that, the only significant one is that 1278, 1288 area. But for me personally, we're so far away from that I'm not going to be taking a big position. I'm probably going to try to aim for that 1440 area to aim for some sort of bigger pullback. This could be some ridiculous, A to a B to a C. I'm not banking on it, but you never know. I'm eyeing for more of a bit larger pullback, something like that. So that's about it for ETH. Litecoin. So Litecoin has this ABC here. So if we get up to that 60.55 area, that's the only position I'd be looking to short. That's actually a pretty good size. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's a really good size structure right there. You did have this ABC, which we talked about last time. Unfortunately, if you guys did take that, you would be sitting pretty in the long right now. That wasn't the case for me. So, and we are above this macro A here. Keep an eye out for that as well. If you guys are looking to try to short this, this could be an area of reversal. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but that's just what I'm seeing. I might just go over one or two more. So XRP, pretty much the same thing as the last couple of times we spoke about it. The only short I'd be willing to take, if you do want to play that side, it's going to be that 3881 area, and most likely when I'm pretty much the same idea is going to follow everything else. I don't expect a lower low at this point because we pumped so far up that the structure doesn't look like it wants to continue lower. I'm going to be looking for a significant pullback at the very least. I could be wrong, but for me, that's primarily what I'm looking for, something like this in comparison. It really depends how that wants to play out, but if I'm going to be shorting, I'm not going to be holding on to this forever. That's just me though. Oh my God, BCH, man. Gonna kick myself for this one. Beautiful setup. We talked about this before. And to be honest, there is no short position for BCH. Time to get in the BCH was down here, and there was nothing to the short side. So that's quick and easy for BCH. All right, maybe I might do this whole list. XMR has had one of the most interesting structures out of everything I've gone over the past week or so. You had some sort of triangle here. All right, some consolidation pattern. It broke up to the upside. So did not play out like most of the other coins. If we get back below that 134.15, that's where I will ideally be looking to get short if I do want to play this. And that's about it. Yeah, there's nothing else for XMR in my opinion. Okay. So Cardano. I mean, that bottom was in. You did not, I do not see any significant short structure. There's nothing for Cardano. Solana. All right, Solana's got something decent. Solana, you do have this. So if you're looking to short Solana, I would look at the 42.90 level. Okay. KDA. If you can get back above that $1.88 level, that would be a good position to short if you guys are looking to short that off of this structure here. Kind of shitty, but that's what I see. XTZ. Again, pretty much like everything else. The only short position I would consider is probably maybe is $1.70. That's about it. All right, I went through the whole list, and that was actually pretty quick. All right, so now this is the point where we're just kind of hanging out, see what's going on. Alan Clark. Hello, I just joined. Hello, Alan. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me. Just a quick overview in case you missed it. Pretty much everything is in the same scenario as I talked about, or what I'm going to talk about with BT. I can go over it again, Alan. Don't worry. To be honest, I went through the list, and it usually takes you like 20 minutes to get through the list. I went through it in like 10. So, are you going long on Bitcoin? Unfortunately, I am not. Until I see a significant bullish structure, I cannot long it. I did contemplate taking some sort of breakout, but for me, I'm not 100% entirely convinced. That's just me though. So the only short position that I am considering taking is based off this ABC at the 22,586. And besides that, there is nothing. Unless, because to me, this structure looks like one continuous trend. There's no significant breaks. There's no pullbacks, like nothing like this. The structure isn't there for me to try to short. Unless we get back below the 22,586. Now, if we keep pumping up to something like this, if we come up here a little bit higher, come back down, and then put in another high, then I can go ahead and try to short in the higher level. So that's just me. That's what I'm looking for. I don't see anything significant in my opinion until we get back down to 22,586. So pretty much everything is about the same. ETH, I'm only going to be shorting ETH if we get back below 1442.45. Besides that, because that 1280 level is too far for me. That's a big drop. So for me, I'd be more comfortable taking a smaller, or not smaller short, but basically the short off of the ABC within a C. Where would you go long? So I would only go long if we put in some significant pullback. Like let's say hypothetically, let's say price tops out right now. So if price tops out right now, if we come down and put in something like this, something that's significant, more significant, and comparable to the size of this, to look for something like this. This could be the beginning of a bull run. That's the only other scenario I would consider taking a long off of. And I can't long this breakout. I just can't. That's just not what I do. So unfortunately, I'm stuck shorting until I see a bigger pullback. And I'm sure if that does happen right now, there'll definitely be a bigger structure, because one of the things I talked about is a possible Adam and Eve. So we could be getting something to where we do have a sharp decline. This is a quick pump, and depending on where this tops out, I'm assuming we might go a little bit higher, and then we come down and kind of form a larger how do I say this? It's not a handle, but a larger E. So if I do short, I'm looking for some sort of pullback more than an actual reversal to the downside. Now I could absolutely do that, but I want to see the structure before I can even consider taking profit on that short if this does play out. So hopefully that answers that question. And that's what I'm looking for primarily. And everything's pretty much in the same situation. LTC, if you get back above 60.59, come back below, I will consider shorting that. Besides that, there's no longs. XRP, no longs. BCH, definitely no longs. Look how like basically how much of a straight shot that was. XMR, no longs. Well, you do have a short at that 134. Cardano, no longs, no shorts, because this is all one structure, ABC. So if we're for me to even consider taking a long, I want to see something like this, like massive, to the point to where I see a structure within the B. I'm going to go ahead and short that. Or not short, sorry, long in that. That's the only way I would consider taking a long. Because this is a new... If this is going to be a significant bottom for Cardano, this is going to be a major trend shift, in my opinion. Let's see, I'm the same. I'm still looking for shorts. Yeah, unfortunately, it sucks when it doesn't necessarily play out exactly the way you want it, but gives you an opportunity, and we just kind of sit in the sideline until we see something. Either we see our original plan play out, or we have to come up with a new one. So Solana, the only thing to short is 42.90. That's a really good significant size structure. KDA, if you do get above that sorry, 18, $1.88 area, I would consider shorting that. XTZ about $1.70. That's about it. Everything's pretty much the same. We'll see. We just got to see what happens, really. So if you're holding Bitcoin, or if you bought some down here, which I know I turned on my DCA machines. I know a lot of people I know turn on the DCA machines down here. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. I see ETH going up and up, and it makes you nervous. Unfortunately, yeah, it sucks. You do have that rise, but you can't force yourself into a long. You know, I would say you can try to long 1702 if we get back above that, but that's about it, Alan. I think that's agreed. That's the only thing I would consider if you really, really want to take a long. That's the only position that makes sense. But for me, I think if we're gonna break above that and push past, we're in a bull run. But I don't think that's the case. That I missed the long. Yeah, I know, man. It sucks, but you can't beat yourself up. You can't beat yourself up. There's always other opportunities, man. I trust you. I know the FOMO. The FOMO is there. Especially when it comes to like stuff like BCH. Like, look how clean of a setup that was. Same thing with Cardano. You had a very, very straight little wick to the bottom. You would have been sitting pretty on all of these. So I get you, man. I really do. I know what it's like to be in that position. Just don't worry about it. I promise you. Even if we do keep going, you're going to see some sort of setup. You're going to see some sort of setup. So you'll get an opportunity to get in. That's about it. To me, this time frame wise and timeline wise of where we are in the world, it just doesn't make sense. I want to see how the S&P did, actually. All right, look at this. This is a little bit of reassurance, Clark. I'm not promising anything, but the S&P looks like it does want to come up a little bit higher, but that's a clear ABC to me. And this is going to be some sort of larger, if this does want to play out. That's just what I see personally. It's a hypothetical. Oh, and the DXY is dropping. Oh, yeah, well, that makes sense because everything goes down backwards, yeah. It's hard to see the downside with pumping. I understand, but you also got to understand too is that different coins react differently to price action. So sometimes you might see BTC pump and ETH might pump harder. It doesn't mean like, yes, it does lessen the odds of it being a complete market reversal, but it kind of, how do I say this? It's not all bad because when I see something like this, to me, I know that the odds of just being a bigger pullback is more likely. And then you have a much larger opportunity to take a long position to get into that next rally. That makes sense. So, and you don't want to be that guy trying to long when it's already up. Now, I would only say that maybe from here, because this is 50% of since that wick. It does suck, but I can almost, look, I don't want to promise, but I can say that the probabilities of some sort of pullback here soon that's more significant in size is more likely. I don't think it's gonna be just a straight shot up. I could be wrong, but I honestly don't think so. God, I'm fucking shot. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, of course. There's always going to be some sort of opportunity. You take entries directly on A's or just below and above? So I take entries based off, how do I say this? I will never take an entry based off of a significant A. So I know what you mean. Like, do I short in this case scenario? Like, will I short this region here if it touches it? No. I have to wait for it to come up and then come back below. So if it comes back up and it immediately gets rejected, I will take it on the cross immediately as soon as the cross is under. I don't wait for candle closes. I don't wait for. There's nothing I wait for. As soon as I see price get under, back under there, it's game on. Or same thing, vice versa with longs. Do you want to find a good example? Any good example? Like this here. Because you know what happens is, if you try to take it on the A, sometimes these candles are not, they dance. And you can't really tell from the actual candle itself here. You have to go inside a smaller time frame, see how many times it danced in that area. And sometimes you can get stopped out multiple times within one candle. So to me, I don't directly take it unless it goes back under and comes back above. So in this case, it's going to be wait to get back below and then catch it on the way back up. So I don't directly take it just on a test of the A's. Where is that level? We got a long way to go. You know, let's draw this for shits and giggles. Okay, thanks. I've been caught out a couple times trying to take immediately when it hits the A. Yeah, no, you want to wait until you get across past it and then back below or above it, depending on which direction you're trading. Sometimes it drops and then higher. Yeah. No, I got you. You don't want to miss out on an opportunity, so you're more willing to take it on the A. Just wait. You don't get that touch, if you don't get that cross back below, don't take it. Or above. Like, guys, I know just a hypothetical here. Everyone and their mother draws these channels, so I like to see if they actually play out. I do believe, like, on a very, very massive macro time frame, that these do carry some weight. Some. To the point where I'll actually, like, take positions off them? No. Absolutely not. But I will, like, if we're on a massive time frame, I will consider, like, even look, the top of this wick here, the touch that channel does sit, sit in a good spot within the ABC here. So it's interesting when you take the main method that you use and just kind of overlap it with other things to see how it could play out, if it does play out. That's just me, though. I don't take any weight. I don't put any weight into these channels. Excuse me, guys. God damn, I am tired. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap things up in like 5-10 minutes. So if you guys have anything else you want to ask me, now is the time. I am gonna wrap things up shortly. Just like I said before, if you guys caught it. Let's see. I've learned 2 things to trade. I've got no patience and no discipline. And to be, you need both. Absolutely. But you also got to realize those things are taught. You're just not born. Like, some people are more patient than others. And I'm not perfect. I've had plenty of situations where I should have waited, but I was so dead set on a certain position or direction that when price did come to a certain point to where I should have waited, I didn't give a fuck. I just took it anyway. Like, one of the biggest things is like right here. I always talk about this because this was a terrible time for me as a trader. So when we were in this region here, I was so dead convinced. Like, I was pretty much dead set that we were going to have some sort of a bigger drop. Almost kind of like what happened just now. I was looking for this. And I refused to give up that idea. Even when we were down here, I was sitting in one of the biggest positions I've was ever in, and I refused to take profit on that short. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna hold this because if I let this go, I'm gonna make back all money I lost here and some." Josh, hype, how you doing, buddy? Smash likes, I appreciate it. How's it going on, man? Anything can happen in time. Training in the zone, exactly. So I was one of the biggest mistakes that, and it took me a while to understand this, and because I was not in a good spot in my life when this area was happening. So once I took a step back, because after seeing a 5-figure position go to the negatives, I didn't know how to handle it. It was really tough for me. And so I took a step back and understood, like, you know what? The market doesn't give a I'm going to try not to curse. Sorry. This is an easy thing for me to do. The market doesn't care what I think. And I shouldn't be sitting here putting way too much emphasis on one particular idea. And that's almost like what's been going on now. Like, I'm not saying I was dead set on this, but from a structural standpoint, this looked like the structure to take for a bigger reversal. And almost the exact same thing happened. We're down here. We got up here, and I was like, okay, you know what? Looks like the area where it wants to pull back, and we just kept going. So you can almost, if you really want to put it in, like I said, I don't use fractals, but like very similar situation. Or just on a much smaller, time frame. So you can have all this pump here. You thinking it's going to pull back, and basically this is just a pullback continuation. No, it's not the case. Price decided to yeet itself all the way up to the upside. And then once you get past that bigger cross, then you have the bigger market reversal. So for me personally, ever since this happened, I learned to basically understand both sides, have a plan for both sides just in case. And I did have a plan, but unfortunately, what I wanted to see didn't happen. So, ascending triangle bullish. Absolutely. So for me, I learned to kind of not put too much directional bias towards my trading and kind of understand that, you know what, there's opportunities on both ends. Learn how to take both. Be open to both ideas. Because obviously price can only go two directions, up, down, and to the right, or three directions, up, down, to the right. Don't be so dead set on one or the other. I want to see more shorts, but every time I short, it goes long. It happens. And it's going to get to the point to where you should probably stop. I'm not saying stop taking shorts, but it's going to get to the point to where we'll find an answer that shorts are not going to make sense. It's just it. It's possible. I personally don't think so. We just have to see what actually happens. I personally don't think that we're going to see a lower low anymore. I don't think so. I could be completely wrong, and it would be unbelievable. I'd be shocked if that was the case at this point. So that's one idea I had before. I don't care for it anymore. That's just my personal take. All right, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up. So if you guys weren't here in the beginning, I did mention that I am going on a vacation next week. So I gotta start packing, because if I don't start packing now, it's gonna be the day before, and I'm gonna lose my shirt trying to get everything together and not fuck anything up. Oh, Alan Clark, where do you see the low? So honestly, I think 17K might have been the low for now. The reason why I say that is back to the Adam and Eve pattern. Is regardless if we do pump up higher or we do reverse from here, you're going to see a pullback, but I don't think it's going to be a dump. Like, we're probably going to end up retracing. If I had to guess, somewhere in like this area. This is a good area of support right here. So if price does topple down from here, it does reverse, that's the first area I would consider. If you lose that, then I could say, you know what? Okay, we're gonna go test the bottom. but that's what I personally see. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, John. Of course, Josh, I appreciate you stopping by. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for saying hello. Hope to see you on the next one. Oh, let me talk about that too. So I gotta get ready for this vacation. So I'm gonna be doing some tonight, doing some tomorrow. I leave Friday morning. I'm going down to the Carolinas. So I will be on the beach for a week. I am making a pit stop in the Middle East to visit a friend of mine. Some of you guys might know who this is. I'm not going to spoil anything. And he, so I don't know if I'm going to be streaming on Thursday. I'm going to do my best to. So if I can get a good amount of packing done today and tomorrow, I'm going to stream. If I do not and something comes up, I will not be here Thursday. So hopefully I see you guys on the next one. If I do see you on the next one, which will hopefully be Thursday, hope to see you then. We'll see what happens, see if we get an answer. If not, if I don't see you, I'll see you guys in about, when do I come home? I will be back home. I should be back to schedule on the 2nd, on August 2nd. If you don't see me on Thursday. So, yeah. So until then, hopefully we'll see we get an answer. If not, we'll just got to sit on the sidelines and wait. And that's about it. Hope you guys are good. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys stay safe. I know this pump can definitely get to some of you. I'm not trying to pick on you or anything, but this stuff is normal. Don't feel bad for feeling that way. Just understand that FOMOing is a lot worse than, how do I say this? FOMOing is a lot worse. FOMOing and taking a bad trade is a lot worse than sitting on the sidelines. But sitting on the sidelines is half the battle as well. So don't be afraid to sit there and watch, because sometimes that's a lot better than throwing money and losing it. So until then, that's some good, hopefully it's some good advice for you. If you guys stuck around and watching the replay, stuck around to the end of this, I really do appreciate you. For those who are tuning in live, thank you guys so much again. I will try to see you on the next one. If not, I will see you in a couple weeks, but I will post some updates if I can, like maybe some quick video updates if I'm with me on the beach, maybe. We'll see. I don't want to leave you guys completely in the dust. I'm going to keep going. I'm sorry. Be good, be safe, guys. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good